Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofinggroup.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion and the curious case of the missing monsoon for this Thursday, the 24th of July. I'm Michael Groff. Yeah, that sounds like a great title for a book, but it is sadly the reality that we're dealing with here over the southwestern United States. The monsoon is out of here, at least for now. Very dry conditions in its place, but oddly enough, temperatures are actually at or even a little bit below seasonal averages. Typically in July or August, when we have below average temperatures, it's because we have clouds, humidity, rainfall. Not the case right now. What's going on with this bizarre weather pattern? What about the weather for the weekend? Yes, it is going to get warmer. And as for the monsoon, well, it sure looks like it may make quite the return by the time we get toward the middle part of next week. Some of our guidance shows a rather ominous sign for a robust return for the monsoon as we get out there toward about Wednesday of next week. We'll get into all of the details here as we dive on in and discuss, because I can hear you right now. I'll believe it when I see it, Mike. I hear you loud and clear. First, the Almanac from yesterday, 104 degrees, the afternoon high. That's really not bad for late July. 85 the morning low, 106 and 85 are the averages for this time of year. As we take a look outside right now, just after 1 o'clock, believe it or not, mostly sunny sky. That's not the unbelievable part. 100 degrees, the temperature at Sky Harbor. Look at that dew point. This is the 24th of July. Typically, we are in the heart of the monsoon. Those dew points are usually up in the 60s, even 70s. Instead, the dew point is 31. It is bone dry out there. Relative humidity 9%. Winds light. Barometer is falling. And it's a common misnomer that it's a dry heat here in the summer, because once we get into July, August, and September, humidity levels can be quite oppressive here, but they're not right now because of this. Look what's going on. Our area of high pressure that's normally sitting around the Four Corners or north of the state this time of the year, it is well off to the east of us. Instead, we're under the influence of broad troughing along the west coast. The flow aloft is southwesterly. All of that monsoon moisture has been pushed eastward into New Mexico and Colorado, and even at that, it's getting shoved further east over the next 24 hours. Even from there, they'll probably see very few showers and thunderstorms, and certainly none to be had across Arizona. It sure looks like we put this in motion. You can sort of see what's been happening over the last 16 to 18 hours or so, and that's been the story. All of that moisture is out of here, and you can see those high clouds well off to the south and west of us moving our way. That is a deep southwesterly flow, and that's going to continue for the next several days. The watch warning map, with that ridge far off to the east, that's where you'll find the core of the heat. Heat advisories and even some extreme heat warnings from the Gulf Coast up into the Midwest. We have some Canadian wildfire smoke to deal with once again for the northern tier states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, points east. And that's where you'll get those air quality alerts. Out here in the west, things are pretty quiet, rather dry. We have red flag warnings for parts of Northern California and Oregon. And with the low humidities and the dry conditions expected to continue for a while, the wildfire situation is going to continue to worsen. The convective outlook for today, got a risk of severe storms again over parts of the central Great Lakes states and some of the surrounding areas. The broader severe weather risk from the western high plains all the way into the northeast. In Arizona, we're not even in the green. No thunderstorm activity expected. Very quiet, very unusual for this time of year. Precipitation outlook, this is valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, these numbers are very slowly trending back upward, but generally under 1/10 of an inch. But look at this. We might see as much as 2 inches of rain over parts of southeast Arizona and into portions of southwest New Mexico. And that is because, again, the monsoon looks to pick back up again as we go into next week, and there is a chance we could see some pretty heavy rain. The moisture gradient is going to be rather interesting. It's going to be very tight. We're going to talk about the complications, the strange, just the bizarre nature of this weather pattern right now as we get to the models. Have a look at things. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars. That's about 18,000 feet off the ground. All right, high pressure is sitting over the southeast United States, and we aren't really under the influence of that at all. Instead, we have this upper low that's still located pretty close to San Francisco, and we have negative height anomalies over California and the Great Basin, and a broad southwesterly flow is in place here across Southern California and Arizona, and that's taking all that monsoon moisture and it's just shoved it off to the east. In its place, anomalously dry air is sitting here over the southwest, and with the presence of that upper low and those negative height anomalies that I mentioned, temperatures are a little bit below average. So what it means down to the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny sky, high temperatures 101 to 105. That's at least 1 to 5 degrees below where we ought to be for this time of year. And no shower and storm activity around here. Some showers and storms maybe for parts of New Mexico and Colorado. But even there, the trend is down in storm coverage. And we could see a few showers and storms maybe over the Sierra or the Great Basin. Mostly high-based convection there, but at least that's in association with that upper low that's along the west coast. So some instability showers there. But for us, it's just quiet. For tonight, clear sky and with that dry air around, we could actually see lows getting down into the mid-70s, maybe even low 70s in some of the coolest locations outside of Greater Phoenix and the outlying areas. In the urban core, of course, it'll still get down to the low 80s, but that's infinitely preferable to the 90s, right? Then for tomorrow, sunny, just a skosh warmer, might tack on a degree or two. Highs 102 to 106, but still, that's about where we ought to be. And that trough is just going to sit to the west of us, and that's going to become a stuck record, okay? Because that feature, a broad low over the Gulf of Alaska and a subsequent trough that's sitting along the west coast, that's pretty much going to be there nonstop for the next 10 days in some shape or form. Let's keep going. This is Saturday. Ridging is still off to the east. It's trying to nose in, but it's having a real hard time overcoming this trough. So temperatures are going to warm up a couple more degrees. I'd say highs getting back toward about 102 to 107 at some point, maybe warm it up another degree or two on Sunday. But even at that, not nearly as warm as we were initially thinking a few days back. Instead, we may actually stay below 110 degrees here. This ridge is trying to get better established here over the southwest, and I think ultimately it is going to win out to a degree. And so as a result, we start to see a few showers and thunderstorms across northwest Mexico and nosing into far eastern and southeast Arizona Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. But here in the valley, we stay dry all weekend. Let's go to next week. This is Monday, and this is where the weather pattern does start to show signs of change. That ridge is getting better established. It's intensifying. It's becoming more elongated. Now that trough, it's not really going anywhere. It may get nudged a little bit further to the west, but it's still just off the west coast, so it's not far away from us. And so the deeper monsoon moisture is going to start to come into the state, and we may even have to introduce a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms here in Phoenix on Monday afternoon and Monday night. But keep in mind, we've been dry for several days at this point. It's going to take some time for the atmosphere to get juiced up once again. So any storm activity that does occur here over the south central deserts, including Phoenix on Monday afternoon and Monday night, would more than likely come in the form of gusty winds and blowing dust with very little rainfall. But as we keep it going, this is Tuesday. High temperatures will come down a couple of degrees back towards seasonal normals, I'd say around 103 to 107. And there will be scattered showers and thunderstorms over eastern Arizona and a few storms getting into the lower deserts. I think better storm coverage will start to take place on Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, our trough is off to the north and west of us. Here we go to Wednesday. And as mentioned, storm coverage continues to increase. And this is looking to be a rather fascinating weather pattern. Now, yesterday we were showing a negative tilt short wave out here by the middle part of next week. I don't know if it's going to turn out quite that way, but we still have a rather anomalously strong trough just off the west coast and a pretty deep layered and intense southwesterly flow for this time of year that's sitting out there. Some elevated winds aloft and some cooler air aloft that's not very far away from us. And this ridge is also pretty far away from us off to the east and northeast. We are under its influence, so the flow aloft is easterly and southeasterly, but we're kind of in a broader deformation zone between these features, and we have some elevated winds aloft, and we have deeper moisture coming in here. The ingredients sure look like they're coming together to form a good chance of showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain of eastern and southeast Arizona, with a good push of east-southeasterly winds here that could really bring some good convection into the lower deserts Wednesday afternoon. The GFS has been insistent that this will happen. I am a little bit more reluctant to put any higher rain chances than about 30% into the forecast here, but we're going to watch these model trends very carefully. Let me show you. This is the precipitable water values coming off of the GFS next Wednesday night. This is at 11 p.m. Look at these numbers. I mean, this is approaching 2 inches now, or maybe even exceeding 2 inches just to the south and west of us. Here in south central Arizona, PWatt values 1.6 to 1.8 inches, maybe even higher than that. And so that represents some very deep tropical moisture that's getting into Arizona at that time. So I would suggest to you that the chance of showers and thunderstorms will increase notably by the time we get toward the middle part of next week, if this verifies. Now, obviously, we're gonna see how this plays out. You know, things can change, and it just seems like the models tease us with this stuff. And as we get closer to the event, something happens, and it just doesn't quite play out like this. But we got to have some kind of monsoon activity at some point, don't we? We have to have a good shot at storms sometime down the road. We can't just have another season that's a complete dud, right? I mean, that just mathematically, probability-wise, it just doesn't make sense. My scientific brain is having a hard time wrapping itself around this, and yet, well, of course, it's weather. It can do whatever it wants, but we'll see. Let's keep going. This is a week from today, Thursday, the 31st of July. And again, a pretty interesting setup. We have a fairly strong ridge well to the east, southeasterly flow, but that trough, you see that upper low is just sitting over the Gulf of Alaska in the northeast Pacific. There's a broad trough that continues to hang around the west coast. The moisture gradient would be fairly tight. The southwesterly flow, that much drier air, is just sitting to the north and west of us, but very impressive tropical moisture is sitting here over eastern Arizona, New Mexico, northwest Mexico, and we're kind of just right there on the cusp. I think we're in the moisture side of it, but we're not far from the drier air either. And if we can continue with some maximized winds aloft, yeah, we would still have a pretty good chance at showers and thunderstorms next Thursday. Let's keep it going. This is Friday, the 1st of August, and the GFS continues to also show this whole time, the middle and latter part of next week, some upper level disturbances rotating around the western edge of this ridge. And who knows, there could be a disturbance or two, a little perturbation in that trough that rotates around the base of it and could act to enhance the flow here and give us some more dynamic support as well. So while it's an unusual setup, it may work in our favor depending on how all of the pieces come together. But for now, we'll just keep a broadly monsoonal forecast in play with scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms in the mix and temperatures below average. Highs would probably be around the upper 90s to near 104 degrees if this plays out as advertised. Going out 10 days. This is Saturday, the 2nd of August. And again, look at that. It's almost like a semi-permanent feature, that upper low that's just sitting there over the northeast Pacific, and a broad trough that continues to exist to the west and northwest of us, and a ridge just off to the east, and a very strong ridge at that. We're seeing a pretty impressive blocking pattern developing, and if this plays out, again, we would have a good chance at showers and thunderstorms over at least the eastern 2/3 of Arizona, including Phoenix, And so we could finally get several days of the potential, at least, for some good monsoon activity here. Scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms, although in this kind of a setup, you could even get some nocturnal convection going. So things look a little bit more promising. But again, I know, believe it when you see it, right? And there's the synoptic look. That's pretty impressive as we go into Saturday the 2nd. All right, rainfall for Phoenix off of the GFS ensemble out through the 7th of August. And yeah, listen, looks good. Ensemble mean keeps coming up toward about 2/3 of an inch. European ensemble is beginning to trend up again. This is the European AI ensemble, actually. I think I was looking at this last night, and this was under 1/10 of an inch. It's over 1/10 of an inch now. I know that's not great. That's not super impressive, but man, this thing was closing in on 0 a couple of runs ago. So I don't know. We're looking a little bit better. We'll see. The GFS is very aggressive though, and I don't want anybody to get too excited about it just yet. Let's just keep watching those model trends. Temperatures off the national blend of models. I don't see a 110 here like we were seeing yesterday, or 112s that we were seeing a few days ago. These numbers keep kind of nudging back down. And as we go into next week with better quality moisture around and chances of showers and storms, temperatures look like they are trending down. So the CPC outlook, the 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. This is for the period of August 1st through the 7th that this works out. Temperatures here over the southwest United States, including Phoenix, are favored to be near average, maybe slightly above average for parts of southeast Arizona, southern eastern Arizona. We'll see. And then precipitation, how about this? The trend is going back in the right direction. Probability at least slightly skewed toward above average precipitation in that August 1st through 7th time frame. And man, after this dud of a July, we could sure use a very wet August here over the southwest. And I really do hope that happens because, it looks like more and more likely we're going to be heading into La Nina as we get into the fall and winter. And typically, the winter of 2023 notwithstanding, 22-23, that usually means it's going to be dry. All right, that's it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a monetary contribution to us, or via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, quite possibly Adriana related, all linked up down in the description. Also, our streaming station, today is the big day, 25 years on the air. 25 years. I mean, okay, we kind of fudged it a little bit because there were periods of time where we weren't broadcasting, although we were broadcasting in spirit. It was always sitting there, ready to go. But there were, few years there where it was kind of touch and go on the station. But still, 25 years ago today is when it signed on the air for the very first time. And this afternoon at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 6 o'clock for you folks on the East, we're going to have a little celebration. We'll bring you back to the very first broadcast. We'll do some exciting stuff to commemorate that occasion. Nothing too wild, nothing too extravagant, just kind of a nice little celebration to commemorate 25 years of KMGX, our wonderful streaming station. All right, and if that's not enough content for you, there's yet more. Our friend Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. I will be participating in a panel discussion over on his channel live this evening at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can If you want to see me doing something other than talking about weather and the lack of monsoon activity here over the Southwest, you want to see some different kind of content, well, I'll be over there talking with Dan, as well as Bailey and Ashley, a couple of the other members of that channel, and we're just going to have a good time talking about, well, I won't give it away. It's going to be a nice, you never actually know. We have things planned on this agenda of what we're going to talk about, but it's live, so anything could happen. And if you want to join us over there, the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, Dan does a great job with that. I mean, I've talked about this channel a lot. By now, you should have been over there. Your homework assignment was to go over there and at least check it out and subscribe. Not saying you have to become a member of his channel, although if you do, that's amazing. But supporting his channel supports us. Supporting us supports his channel. It's a symbiotic relationship. But anyway, that's this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Check it out over there at the Courtroom Files, and I'll be there. All right, I think that is enough of me and enough content for now. Right? Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. I really mean it. It is so greatly appreciated. Please, want you to be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.